The WA coroner has criticised a homeopath and a prominent Perth toxicologist over the death of a woman who used alternative therapies to treat her cancer. Alastair Hope says the woman was influenced by misinformation and bad science, and the decision to shun conventional medicine cost her her life. Joanna Manar reports.
It's been 5 years since Penelope Dingle died from cancer, and her family fought hard to have her death examined by the coroner.
We're very satisfied with the process of investigation that the court has conducted. That's all comment we've got to make at the moment.
Mrs Dingle was first diagnosed with bowel cancer in 2003, but decided against surgery and chemotherapy in favour of alternative therapies. She placed her trust in homeopath Francine Scrayan, who the coroner, Alastair Hope, found had convinced Mrs Dingle she could treat her cancer. Mr Hope said Mrs Dingle developed an unhealthy dependence on Mrs Scrayan and her homeopathic remedies, describing the advice she gave Mrs Dingle as dangerous and outrageous. Mr Hope also criticised Mrs Dingle's partner, toxicologist Peter Dingle, whom he described as being a victim of his own misinformation. He said Dr Dingle became caught up in the situation and did not take the positive actions which would normally be expected to save a loved one from herself, and that contributed to Mrs Dingle's loss of a chance of survival.
There was evidence at the inquest that the three had made a pact to write a book about Penelope Dingle being cured of cancer using homeopathy. Dr Dingle and Mrs Scrayan both denied the claim, and now the coroner has found there's not enough evidence to prove there was a plan to write a book.
The coroner also referred two of Mrs Dingle's doctors to the medical board, one for telling her that vitamin C and the extract of the Venus flytrap plant could stop her cancer growing. Mr Hope did not recommend that alternative therapies be outlawed, but he did urge the federal and state governments to review the laws covering them. Joanna Manar, ABC News.